there, good morning ladies and gents. I thought I would do a review of the Manchester United games from last night. Talk about how good some of them were, talk about how some of the decent points of yesterday's game, as well as some of the bad points of yesterday's game. So, obviously we drew 3-3 with Porto last night. Now, that was incredibly disappointing. I mean, we were very lucky not to lose the game. Harry Maguire saving us right at the end of the game. You know, it's frustrating knowing that we were 2-0 up and we went 3-2 down. Like, any team should be winning when they're 2-0 up, they should be going on and winning the game. You know, we shouldn't be letting the team come back into the game and score 3 goals, which is what happened last night. Obviously I'm not happy with the Bruno Fernandes red card. I think that was very harsh and an incorrect decision. We saw that very similar thing in the game against Tottenham on Sunday where Bruno Fernandes was sent off. A lot of people have said that it shouldn't have been a red card, and I kind of agree with that. And then again, yesterday, obviously, the yellow card, the first yellow card wasn't a yellow card, it was a 50-50 tackle. It was definitely not a yellow card in any particular circumstance. And then the red card in the second half. Again, it was in a tackle where Bruno Fernandes was going for the ball. If you look at the replay of the red card, Bruno Fernandes was going for the ball. And he made no contact whatsoever with the player, with the opposition player. You know, that play, it felt like Porto deliberately got Bruno sent off. It felt like they knew that Bruno was on a red card, so it was on a yellow card, and they thought, oh, let's go and try and get him sent off. That player went down holding his head, knowing that it would influence the referee's decision. This is what you see players do in professional football a lot. You see it a lot. You see players going down, like they've been shot, and the way they go down, it's like they're trying to influence the referee's decisions. It's like when a player goes down holding their head, of course that's going to influence the referee's decision, and see the referee give a harsh decision, a harsh decision. But as you look at it, if you look at the replay, there was no reason for that player to go down holding his face or holding his head, because Bruno Fernandes didn't actually make any contact with him. It was like he went down claiming he'd gotten hurt, but when you look at the replay, there was no contact made by Bruno Fernandes whatsoever. He was going for the ball. I mean, yeah, his foot was high, but if it was a case where his foot was high and he had made contact with the player, I'd say red card. But his foot was high, but he didn't make any contact with that player, so it should not have been a red card. That's just my take on things. I mean, obviously, I look at United and the way that we're playing at the moment is just dreadful. Like, it's just not United, the way that we know United can play. I do think Erik ten Hag should be sacked. I am kind of fully Ten Hag out at this point. I know they were talking about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer being one of the possibilities as United as a replacement manager. To be honest, my only concern with appointing someone like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is it feels like we would be going backwards instead of forwards. That's like my only fear. Is that if we appointed Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, we would be going backwards instead of going forwards, going in the direction that we need to be going in. I can't think of any other managers. I mean, Ruud van Nistelrooy would probably take over as caretaker manager unless Ineos decide to go for a long-term manager pretty quickly. Obviously, we don't know what they would decide to do. But we'll know more. It will all depend on, the Villa result on Sunday. If we get a surprise win against Villa, that might just save Erik ten Hag's job. But I don't think we're going to win on Sunday against Villa. I can't see us winning away at them. This is a team, we're talking about a team that's just being fucking Bayern Munich in the Champions League, for goodness crying out loud. It's just madness with United at the moment. It's just, I mean, obviously, I do like being a Man United fan, but it's hard when you think about what Man United used to be like and you see them now, and it's like, even the big teams don't fear United in the way they used to fear them. Like, a lot of teams now, they look at United as an easy win. They'll look at a game against United and go, well, that's an easy 3 points right there. We'll win that game, no doubt. Because, the United are very beat. The problem with Man United is they're an easy team for anyone to beat these days. You would fancy anybody's chances against United these days. You would fancy it, I mean, obviously, it's just like, we're playing like a bunch of donkeys out there on that pitch at the moment. It feels like there's no passion from the players. It feels like there's no desire from the players to win. It feels like they don't respect the manager or they don't trust the manager. And we're seeing that. We're seeing good examples of that at the moment. You know, the thing that really annoys me with United is we go a goal up or we go two up and then we just sit back. Instead of going on and trying to win the game, we're happy to just sit back and defend. And we can't keep doing that. I said that a lot about England. Obviously during the Euros when I was doing my match reviews for them. One of my many complaints was that England, kept going a goal up and then sitting back and defending and not trying to go for the win. And it's the same problem with Manchester United is they go a goal up or they go 2 goals up and then they just sit back. It's like they're willing to just sit back and start defending instead of actually going and trying to secure that win, which is what they ultimately need to do. They ultimately need to go out there and and focus on trying to get that win. Don't keep going a goal up or going 2 goals up and then sitting back and defending, which is what we're constantly doing. I try not to be such a banana, but I think he has put in a couple of decent performances lately. The defence has been shaky. Mathis Delirtum as well, he's not doing too bad. You think about the money that we spent in the summer transfer window, and we're sitting 13th in the Premier League table after 6 games. We should be higher up than that after 6 games. But we've only picked up, I think, 2 wins out of 6 games. Or 1 win out. I mean, how many? I mean, or what? I know that we beat Southampton. Obviously, we beat Fulham and we beat Southampton. So 2 wins in 6 Premier League games. We've been smashed at home by Tottenham 3-0, smashed at home by Liverpool 3-0. It's just ridiculous. We're letting those big teams like Liverpool, Spurs, Arsenal, City, Chelsea all over us. The City, the City supporters, Liverpool supporters, the Arsenal supporters, like, all laugh at us. I would probably go as far as to say that Manchester United have become the laughing stock of the Barclays Premier League of the English Premier League, because they have. It's not. I don't think that's unfair to say. And as I said, I don't want Erik ten Hag because I fear that if we went with Erik ten Hag, we would be taking a step sort of in the wrong direction. Like, I feel like we should be going forwards instead of backwards. And I feel like if we did bring someone like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in again as manager, we would be going forward. We would ultimately be going backwards instead of going forwards as we should be. I wouldn't want to go with someone like Thomas Tuchel. I just don't think Thomas Tuchel is right for United. That he has clashed with the owners at his previous teams that might not bode well. Some people have said Gareth Southgate, and they must be having a laugh if they think that Gareth Southgate would actually be able to do anything at Manchester United, because they wouldn't be able to do anything with them. And it has to be said. It's just sad. Seeing the way that United are at the moment. I mean, obviously, I'm not gonna stop supporting the club. Sometimes I have been feeling like wanting to stop them, but I feel like you can't not support them. I can't lie with this. It's just it's just a very frustrating situation. To be honest, I don't know what else to say. Like, I wish that there was something I could say about this. Like, it's just crazy, really, crazy, crazy, crazy. I have no idea what to say. Like, I wish I did know what to say. Um, like, it's just one of those situations where, you look at United and you look at the way they're playing at the moment, and it's just, it's hard to see the way it's hard to see the way that we're playing at the moment. It's just hard. Like, we know we need to improve, but we know that ultimately Eric Ten Hag is just not the right manager for us anymore. It's time for him to go. I want to see things getting better for United, but I don't see things getting any better at the moment. It's hard to, I want to stick up for them and say, yeah, things will improve, but I just don't know if they will. Like, if I'm being honest, I just can't see how things are going to improve. It's one of those situations where, you want to kind of show your support to the players, and show that you trust the players, but it's kind of hard for people like myself to do that at the moment, because it's just, there's no respect for those players. Like, they're not willing to put the work in, and I feel like that's the major problem we have at the moment. At the end of the day, I don't blame the players, for the way for the way that we're playing at the moment. I blame the manager, because this is the thing. It's like, you can't blame the players for this. You can't blame the players for the mess that Manchester United are in at the moment. You have to blame the manager. It's Eric Ten Hag who is to blame for the mess that Manchester United are in at the moment. I am so pissed off with the fact that he wasn't sacked after the Tottenham game. Like, the fact that the owners were still willing to back him after that game against Tottenham on Sunday, when it was absolutely ridiculous. Why were they backing him? Why were the owners still backing him when they should have been doing the right thing and actually sacking him? That is what they need to do. They can't keep backing Eric Ten Hag, because them constantly backing the manager isn't going to help the situation. It's not going to, how can they improve the situation when they're backing a manager that isn't doing any good? There is one player that I think Manchester United made a huge mistake getting rid of, Scott McTominay. He hasn't done too bad for Napoli. You look at how Jadon Sancho has done with Chelsea. He's not doing too bad with them, is he? With them. It's just crazy. And it's like, it's just an unacceptable. It's just frustrating. Like, I'm sick of the owners constantly backing the manager. I want the manager gone. I don't want them to keep releasing statements saying, "Oh, we're backing the manager 100%." No. It's not about backing the manager, it's about sacking him. It's about appointing a manager that can actually win major, that is actually good enough to win us major trophies. It's about appointing a manager who is capable of fixing the problems there are at Manchester United at the moment. That is what we need, a manager that can fix the problems and can win us major trophies. Eric Ten Hag is not good enough to do that. He's not good enough to win to be winning us major trophies. But yet, Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos are still still wanting to back him after that appalling result on Sunday, when they should have been sacking him, which is what anyone else would have done. If that was Villa, they would have sacked the manager. If that was Arsenal, they would have sacked the manager. If that was Liverpool, they would have sacked the manager. If that was City, they would have sacked the manager. But us, we lose 3-0. We get battered 3-0 at home yet again, and we're still willing to back the manager. Why? You know, it just doesn't make any sense. The fact that we get battered at home 3-0, battered at home yet again 3-0, and the owners are still willing to back the manager. Why? It's like, why are they refusing to sack him? Why are they constantly backing him? If truth be told, Erik ten Hag probably should have been sacked at the end of last season. But I don't think there was anybody that could find anyone that was actually really, he was actually good enough to take over from Ten Hag, so they didn't sack him. But now is the time to get rid of him. Erik ten Hag is not doing this team any good. Hence he needs to be sacked. Because there is that for him to be sacked. There is a reason for him to be sacked. He's not doing the team any good. This is the problem. We need a manager that can actually do us some good. And there's no, people like Ten Hag, someone like Erik ten Hag, cannot do any good for United. Hence why I'm saying he needs to be sacked. I want to be fair as a United fan. I want to say that I'm willing to give Ten Hag a chance. But, we can't keep giving Ten Hag chances after chances after chance. We can't keep backing him. When we're picking up poor results every single day, week in, week out. We can't keep backing him when we want to go for European football. We should be going for Champions League football. But we're not good enough at the moment. We're not good enough to compete for Champions League football at the moment. We're not good enough to be competing with the likes of Chelsea, Tottenham and Aston Villa for top 4. We're not even good enough. I would say that we're probably not even good enough to be battling for top 6. But there are serious improvements that need to be made, and one of the improvements that needs to be made is getting rid of the manager and getting a new manager in as soon as possible. Obviously, if they sack Erik ten Hag, are they gonna appoint, caretaker manager, or are they gonna get a new manager in as soon as possible? As quickly as possible. What is the decision that they will make? Because I think it's not about. I don't think it's about even getting a caretaker manager in. I would say it's more about getting an actual proper manager, a proper full-time manager in as soon as possible. I don't think that Ineos should wait until the end of the season to get a proper manager in. I think they need to get a proper manager in as soon as they can, because the sooner we get a proper manager in, the better. I'm not in the mood for caretaker managers. I'm in the mood for full-time managers. That is what we need. Obviously, as a fan, you have to stick. But as a dedicated fan, you have to stick by your team, no matter what. No matter what happens. Win, lose or draw through the tough times and the easy times, the good times and the bad. But sometimes it is hard to stick by your team, especially when they put in such a bad performance. Especially after that performance last night when we went 2-0 up, only to end up going 3-2 down. That is just completely and utterly unacceptable. To be going 2-0 up in a game and then going 3-2 down and having to rely on a late goal to spare our blushes. It's just not good enough. We should be winning games comfortably, and we're not doing that. We're throwing away leads. We're going 1-0 up, and then we're throwing the lead away. We're letting the team come back into the game. It's exactly what happened against FC Twente last week. We went 1-0 up against them, and then we let them get it. We sat back. We would defend, and they equalised. Exactly what happened last night. We went 2-0 up against Porto. We sat back, defend. They got back into the game, and they went in front, and they were leading 3-2 right up until the end of the game, and Harry Maguire saved our blushes. When you look at that game against Tottenham, we were 1-0 down inside 3 fucking minutes. in that game on Sunday. 3 fucking minutes into the game and we were 1-0 down. That is unacceptable. To be going 1-0 down inside 3 fucking minutes is just unacceptable. For especially for one of the big teams in the Premier League. To be going 1-0 down inside the first 3 minutes. You would expect that from a relegation battling team like Southampton. Or Nottingham Forest or Everton. You wouldn't be expecting a team like Man United to be going 1-0 down inside 3 minutes. It's just ridiculous. As soon as we went 2-0 up, I started getting nervous. I was worried that we would throw the lead away, and that's exactly what happened. We were 2-0 up and we threw the lead away, and Porto punished us. I feel like Porto actually deserved to win that game. I feel like we didn't even deserve to draw the game. To be honest, I don't even give a fuck about Europa League. To be fair. People say, well, it's a trophy, but it's not a trophy that I want us to win. I want us to be winning the major trophies like Champions League, Premier League. I don't want to be settling for some flipping for some fucking farmers trophy. Obviously it would guarantee us a place in the Champions League for next season, but it's just 2 draws in our first 2 games.